morning and welcome to ABC News GH. You are watching ABC in the morning live on ABC News GH. I am Abuna Mantizanana to come your way with the show this Tuesday, very fine Tuesday morning, the 27th day of May 2025. I hope your evening was good. I hope your Monday was good. And if your Monday was good, your Tuesday will be better. If your Monday was not too good, let me assure you that your Tuesday will be good. Continue to look at the day with all of the positivity you can master, and you will be able to see the day through very, very beautifully. We have so many conversations for you today, and so come along with us and let's enjoy the conversation. At some point during the show, we will open the phone lines for you so that you too can share your thoughts with us, and would love to hear your thoughts. The number you will call us on is 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609, and so you call us and you share your thoughts with us. Today Parliament resumes, okay, and so we will be taking you to Parliament so that you know all that is happening there, and so just relax and enjoy all that we have for you here on the show today. We're streaming live on our Facebook. The page is ABC News GH, and so if you're leaving home, rest assured you can still watch us here on the show. This is ABC in the morning with me, Abuna Mante. I love that you're here with me. Thank you so much for being with me. Let's take a break. We will return with Front Story. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning. Our front story today, we're looking at Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has acted swiftly, and he's taken a bold and immediate action following the uncovering of a significant corruption scheme at Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. In a statement posted on his social media accounts on Monday, May 26, Okudzeto-Ablakwa announced the dismissal of Fred Kwarteng, a locally hired staff member accused of orchestrating a fraudulent operation targeting visa and passport applicants. Kwarteng, who joined the embassy's IT department in August 2017, allegedly created an unauthorized link on the embassy's official website, and this link redirected users to his private company, Ghana Travel Consultants, where they were charged unapproved fees ranging from $29.75 to $60. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Parliament had no knowledge of approval of the scheme, and according to Ablakwa, preliminary investigations indicate that the fraud had been running for at least 5 years and involved multiple collaborators. The case has been referred to the Attorney General for possible prosecution, and steps are being taken to recover the stolen funds. And the statement said that this conduct constitutes a grave breach of public trust and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, the minister has asserted. In response to the revelations, the ministry has enacted several sweeping reforms. All Foreign Affairs Ministry staff stationed at the Washington Embassy have been recalled immediately. the embassy's IT department has been dissolved and all locally recruited staff have been suspended pending further investigation. The Auditor General has also been invited to conduct a forensic audit of all embassy transactions to quantify the full scale of the fraud. And Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. will be closed temporarily to facilitate structural reforms and a comprehensive systems overhaul. While acknowledging the temporary disruption this may cause for visa and passport applicants, the Minister, Okudzeto Ablakwa, has emphasized the Mahama administration's firm commitment to combating corruption, conflict of interest, and abuse of power. However, the swift and public nature of these actions has sparked debate. Nana Kwame Asafo-Adjei, who is the deputy ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament, has criticized the minister for prematurely announcing the embassy's closure before investigations had concluded. And so today on Front Story, this is what we're looking at: the gravity of these alleged offenses and the minister's early public disclosure. Did the minister err in doing this so quickly, or this was just the right time to addressing a matter such as this? Does it put us in a bad light internationally, or does this really rather nip the issue in the bud? Joining us for a conversation is Dr. Ishmael Humovo. He is an international relations expert. Good morning, Doc. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. I hope you're also well.
Yeah, by grace.
Well, this is the corruption that has been uncovered by the minister in our embassy in the United States of America. To what extent could this scandal affect our reputation, particularly among our diplomatic partners?
Thank you, and then good morning to your viewers and listeners. Any issue of fraud and corruption, wherever it happens, will have negative consequences for the image of the institution and the country that is involved. In this particular case, it involves an embassy, some staffs of the Ghana embassy in Washington. And that means that given the manner we have gone about it, it creates issues for the image of this nation. Now, mind you, the minister is within his powers to shut down an embassy if he so deems it fit. The minister is within his powers to fight corruption and fraud wherever it occurs. But then there are various approaches you could use apart from shutting down the embassy, because that embassy is the main link between Ghana and Washington, or Ghana and the U.S. That's the main embassy. Although you have a consulate general in New York, a consulate general by their functioning cannot do most of the things that embassies do. So in an embassy establishment, you don't only have people who are involved in consular services. Now, from the information given, it appears that the major issue here is with the section that deals with consular services. So if that section has a problem, it is strange that we'll go ahead and shut down the whole embassy and then communicate same on social media and other platforms to suggest that the whole embassy all of a sudden has become a scene of fraud and crime. That virtually damage your own image in as much as you are trying to fight fraud and you are trying to fight corruption. It is good to fight corruption. It is good to fight fraud wherever it occurs. But given the nature of embassies, given the nature of what they do, being a representation of your nation, perhaps another approach could be better. Let's say that even if you are going to close down the embassy, you could still communicate to the world that the embassy is going through certain reforms while you deal with this. Alternatively, you can still keep open the embassy, isolate the gentleman involved and few other staff that you think are involved in this whole thing, and then deal with them by the law. But if you close down the whole embassy all of a sudden, instructed all the diplomatic staff to return home, now you create a trust issue, legitimacy issues for diplomats of Ghana across the world. You are putting them in a situation where all of a sudden they are seen as people without integrity. And therefore, even if you have finished whatever you are doing and restored them, it will take a lot of branding for them to win the trust of the public they will be dealing with. Now, how do you then go and say that the rest of the embassies across the world have the integrity to deal with others? Because there are people in embassy who are not doing any consular work. They are actually dealing with trade. They are actually negotiating. So if I am a foreigner or even a Ghanaian and I have to do business with the embassy, and then it is put across that Ghanaian diplomatic staff are engaged in fraud and so forth and so on, then the level of trust I'll have dealing with them is not going to be the best. So I think that while the foreign minister is within his powers to shut down the place and do whatever he wants to do to fight crime, the approach of bringing it to social media, the approach of communicating it, and in fact the manner the thing was communicated is like the normal politics we do. And you see, foreign ministry and by nature what they do means that when you're manning that place, you have to live about the partisan politics that we do here. Now, so what is the motivation? I see only the motivation to say that as a new government, we are doing better than our folks who have left office, that for 5 years, these folks have allowed this fraud to continue, or we have come and we are dealing with it. That is good domestically. Domestically, that helps you to win a lot of support. That helps you to win a lot of political capital here. But internationally, it is quite damaging to you. So I think that we should trade a very balanced line between doing the partisan politicking we do within Ghana and communicating to the world, which involve that we have to enhance our image. Fine. The argument will be made that by doing this, you are actually ensuring that the rest of the world know that any untoward event in Ghanaian embassies will not be allowed to continue, and therefore they will have a lot of trust in you. But I think that it would have been better if this gentleman has been isolated and those who have been found to have engaged in this are isolated and dealt with. But of course, the whole genesis of some of these issues we are finding with the embassy is about how we end up over the years appointing politically connected people to go and head embassies. And so one of the things that I would want to see is how did this gentleman get recruited to work for the Ghanaian embassy? Because it's a local staff. Local staff means that he was recruited in the U.S. Who gave him the contract or whatever to work for the U.S.? Through which process? Was the process transparent enough where the background and others of this gentleman had been checked? So these are some of the things. But because over the years, we have moved away from where we had career diplomats heading most of the missions to having politicians who do not have the necessary training, who goes to head the embassies with a partisan approach, and therefore must also kowtow to partisan pressure to do some of the things for their party boys. So yes, you have to find the genesis, and if diplomatic staff are involved, then you are asking the question, how did they get recruited? How are we recruiting people into diplomatic service and so forth and so on? So these are legitimate questions that have come. But I think that this approach of putting it on social media, communicating as if the whole embassy has become a fraud scene, is not the best.
Dr. Hobo, since the situation is under investigation so far, what can we be doing as a country, especially from the angle of the Foreign Affairs Ministry, to maintain the trust that we already have with our diplomatic in our diplomatic relations with other countries? Like you said, this also creates a certain perception about us on the international level. It damages our are standing in a certain way based on how it was presented. And so during the investigations process, as the ministry also looks at sanitizing the whole embassy, how can it also position itself to inform diplomatic ties that, well, we are still the genuine country, you know, we are still a country of very good standing on international relations matters. It just happens that this is a blot at the moment, which we are cleaning up, and at the end of the day, we'll be better for it.
Given the tangent we have gone, I think that we must begin to sound to the world that this is just an isolated incident, that the rest of our embassies are still active and doing the work, that this doesn't really involve all the staffs at the embassy, so that it doesn't look like the embassies are organized crime scene to be defrauding people. If you have worked with Ghanaian diplomatic staff abroad, you will realize that they work under a lot of constraints. In fact, some of them have to use their personal resources at times to solve problems of Ghanaians. So you have to be communicating to the world, apart from this one, of the various stages, various processes you are taking to strengthen Ghanaian embassies, because we have gone on this way. So, for instance, are there processes to retrain diplomatic staff, processes to ensure that IT deployment across all the embassies have been enhanced with new security features that may not be easily manipulated. So if you communicate that, then it will also give us a sense that, yes, you have enhanced your setup, and you have enhanced the skills and the ability of your diplomats. Particularly with the Washington embassy, the earlier we can get it back functioning, the better for us, because that embassy does not only deal with the United States of America. That embassy is accredited to Mexico, is accredited to Guatemala, is accredited to Costa Rica. So it doesn't only deal with the United States. These other countries, that's the embassy accredited to them. So as I said, if you take these actions, you have to, just as you communicate this one, you must also find a way to make it look like this an isolated incident that you are dealing with. But if we keep on saying that we are going to, as if the whole embassy establishment, the whole diplomatic establishment have a problem that we are going to deal with. And I think that in future, some of these things have to be isolated from the public eye, dealt with, and then maybe after conviction and all those things, we may now highlight the fact that staff who have been engaged. And see, the problem is that the main person here is not a diplomatic staff per se. This is a local recruit. So what I mean by local recruit is that, you see the embassies in Ghana, for instance, there are Ghanaians who work in those embassies. Did you get it? There are Ghanaians who work in those embassies. They are not diplomatic staff. These are called local recruits, because they are not the official diplomats who have been sent from their country to represent them here. So this person is recruited in that manner as a local recruit. So he was recruited in the U.S. to work for the Ghanaian embassy there. So if he gets involved in a scheme like this, now even if we suspect that some of these career diplomatic staffs have been involved in it, then these are people that you can trace and deal with rather than the whole establishment. Because within that establishment, there are people who have nothing to do with consular services. There are people who have nothing to do with passport and visa applications. There are people dealing with different dimensions of diplomacy. People are interested. People are there as trade attachés. People are there as culture attachés. People are there as security attachés, and they are collating, analyzing information on various aspects. They are engaging different groups of people. So that is why it is quite complex to lump the whole embassy and shut it down in the manner we have done. It's quite unfortunate.
Well, quite unfortunate. But Dr. Hall, finally, before we go, in influencing our global perception of our governance system, our transparency system in the country, and the commitment to anti-corruption efforts, how better can we continue to position ourselves so that when there's any global perception of Ghana, it is a positive one?
Okay, thank you. So I think that the political class must hasten slowly when it comes to issues of international representation of Ghana and issues of diplomacy. Just few months or weeks ago, we have a group of partisan folks who were petitioning the diplomatic corps that Ghana all of a sudden has become a scene for narcotic peddling and other things. That they are doing in the name of partisan politics, but damaging the image of this country. This one has also come to add up to the perception the world has about us, that this is a group of countries that is corrupt. So it adds up to that image. How do we fight corruption and still protect our image? Listen, it's not everything that countries put out there, particularly if they know that the information will be damaging to their national image. They will shield it while they deal with it according to the laws of their land. Now, you must find a way to address issues of corruption and corruption-related issues, particularly if it involves the Ghanaian's national image, outside the public eye. Deal with it and then bring out the result. That is a better way to deal with issues like that. But if you want, in the name of transparency, put out every information that comes out there, you end up damaging yourself. But in diplomacy, concealing information is a normal thing. We think that countries around the world don't put everything about themselves out there. And if you engage in a lot of public diplomacy and branding, you understand that you will not see the beggars in London being portrayed on the TV set. It's because they have to create a certain image. It's not like, so you may say, oh, but the person is telling the truth, the person is transparent and those things. But in diplomacy, sometimes you don't need to tell the whole truth. You have to tell the truth that projects your image. You have to do it in a way that maintains your credibility and image. Because when you damage your own credibility and image, it will take time for you to build it back. Now, the best people who will know that you have actually solved the problem, if this problem actually exists in that embassy, is the people who actually have encounters with the embassy. Once you deal with this problem and the system runs smoothly, the people who have been complaining about these problems will soon become agents who announce the turn of events. And that is rather going to be to your credit. Now, this one, some people have not even had any encounter with the embassy, but all of a sudden they know that this embassy, this is how they behave. Now, when they go back there, and then maybe for a few years they work well, and then those things start popping up again, then what happened to your effort? So I think that, yes, let's deal with crime, let's deal with making government open and accountable, but when it comes to international relations and diplomacy, it's not everything that we can put out there, because some of them will be damaging to ourselves.
All right. Dr. Honorable, we are most grateful for your time this morning, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Ishmael Honorable is an international relations expert. We've been having this conversation about Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C. that has been closed over alleged corruption practices by some staff. And Dr. Ishmael Honorable says that it was premature that the minister came out to state all of what had happened. We could have waited until investigations had been conducted and concluded and for the information to be put out, because at this point it damages our reputation in the eyes of our international counterparts. And that's all for the conversation here on Our Front Story. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you some latest in sports.
Mini Ojo, from the connection man. The OPBR Meso too. Come.
Mate, Pacho Bishabo Sukanka.
Pukawi. See what kiosk number 22. That's all your brajo. Oh, that's so too. So yes. Mommy, you show our unya so well. Hello. You show our uko boat. See what last stop. That's all your Sister Rose. Hold up. Sister Rose, Mr. No customer. So to no mommy.
Also, unya so spa.
See what circle.
Boys, me, Nyanya Wahopa. You sound.
Bro, I the info from 6 p.m. Shut. Meso too.
When we connect our energies, great things happen. Connect to a world of amazing and endless possibility with Telecel. Telecel, connecting lifestyle, connecting passions, connecting dreams.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Show off your best skin this Harmattan with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 Complete Care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying out with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. Love your skin this Harmattan with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa 5-in-1 Complete Care.
This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Avoiding injuries, easy. Winning, easy, Charlie. But you know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnut. Just add water, then sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy, made easy. As I be street footballer, Gary at the top. Now we are 10 star boy. Still Gary at the chop. I travel go abroad. Kivo Gary at the chop. Kivo Gary. He the bio. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix.